What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video we are doing the 53rd installment of Retro Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing my Gemini Jets 1:400 scale USAir McDonnell Douglas MD-82. Happy New Year, everyone! Welcome to 2025, and first retro review of the new year, though. So again, Happy New Year to everyone. Hopefully you all had a fantastic time with your loved ones over the holidays, and we're hoping that you have a great 2025. We've got a lot coming up this year, as far as I know, and tons of other exciting things. So we'll see a little more of that in the channel update for winter 2024. So go check that out if you want some more details as to what could be coming in this new year. As we get started with the first retro review of this young year, we have a very lovely MD-80 from Gemini Jets, released in August of 2023. Got the Gemini Jets logo, no 25th anniversary insignia on this one, made for collectors by collectors, image of the plane, aircraft type, and the very old USAir logo, which is carried over from the days of Allegheny, but now they've switched to a polished livery. There's the inside with the plastic cradle and also the pamphlets. You can pause to read that. And then, yeah, all the sides of the box are pretty much the same as any other Gemini box. Got the logo over here, image on the right, aircraft type, item number is GJUSA 1163. And on the back, a 2023 release, licensed by Boeing and American Airlines. So put the box aside and bring this in. It's been a while since Gemini has done a Mad Dog now. I think it's been a couple months, at least from when I'm recording this. They haven't done another Mad Dog, but they do have the Ron Allen 88 still up as a future preview. And who knows, maybe they'll have some more in the works as well. But I have suggested to them quite a few Mad Dogs that they could do, and they would certainly be excellent additions to anyone's collection. But here we are, USAir MD-82 by Gemini Jets, and you can tell it's an MD-82 because of the pointy tail cone on it. Some early 83s had this as well, but most of the 83s have what's called the screwdriver tail cone, and that's apparent on my TWA releases that I got, also from 2023. So to bring this model into view, you can see, starting off with the front, the nose cone. There's the nose gear, which is, I don't know how it got that bent. I haven't had that, didn't notice that before, but that's kind of one of the downsides of the JC Gemini MD-80 molds, is that the nose shape isn't exactly the best, and that's why we see quite a few people going for NG to release some of these MD-80s, but as of late, they haven't shown exactly the most interest, and meanwhile, Gemini is still kind of working with this mold, so, you know, you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place with that. There's the cockpit windows along with the strake, which is molded on. The NG, I know it's a separate piece, which is interesting. You have the L1 door, and then the cheat line, which is like this brighter red, and then you move into like a much darker red, and then into this maroon color over the wings. There's some overwing exits right there, and also the rear boarding door. American flag on the registration 824, November 824 uniform Sierra. Maroon on the engines as well, and then the USAir tail, which has the three colors up in the area. Now on the other side of the aircraft, not too much to report on this side with some luggage doors. There's also the one lone antenna that they stick on the top of the MD-80s. Looks pretty good there. And then there's, again, another luggage door just ahead of the engines, and also another look at the tail from that side. A little bit underneath, this is the standard Gemini details you get. A lot of printed stuff on there, and the landing gear doors are printed on. Stand hole and the Gemini Jets logo, which always gets smaller with every single release. Top of the aircraft with the overwing exit markings and other printed details. Awesome little model from Gemini, and been really happy with how they've pumped out all these retro planes. I keep saying this in all these videos, but that's just how genuine it is. I'm really happy to see Gemini being so dedicated to all the retro releases and what they've been able to pump out over the years. So hopefully that'll continue as we move into 2025, because I know there's still a lot of subjects out there that have yet to be made. So now let's take a look at the real-life aircraft's history, which has got quite the storied one here. This first flew on December 17th of 1982, and it took just under a year for it to be delivered to Pacific Southwest Airlines, better known as PSA. It was delivered as November 1005 Juliet, and it was re-registered to November 9048 Papa Sierra the next month. Then she went to USAir in April 1988 and given the November 824 Uniform Sierra registration, so this is the era that this aircraft is represented in. Of course, USAir, they rebranded to US Airways in February of 1997. They also had a livery change with the USAir. They switched to a more like standard Times New Romanesque font. So they switched to that right before they rebranded to US Airways in February of '97. But the MD-80s for US Airways, they never wore the Navy top livery, as far as I know. She then went to Air Adriatic in January of 2002, re-registered to Niner Alpha Dash Charlie Bravo Charlie, so she did go overseas. Air Adriatic, they were from Croatia, a charter airline, the first private airline in the country. She was leased by Winjet in June of 2005 from Italy, but she was returned to Air Adriatic just a couple of months later. She then went to Aurora Airlines out of Slovenia in September of 2007, but she was not operated by the airline. She was supposed to wear the registration Sierra 5-Alpha Charlie Delta, but she was put into storage, and that's how she's been since 2007. And as of late, she is actually a derelict aircraft at the old Istanbul Ataturk Airport. That's the former international airport for Istanbul before the new one opened up a few years ago. And she is stored next to some other cool aircraft, as on satellite imagery I saw there was another MD-80 there, there's also an A300 and I think an A310 over there as well. So pretty interesting stuff going on with this aircraft. So maybe that's why Gemini chose this specific registration, because, you know, this airframe is still technically around, just sitting in storage, rotting away. And that'll do it for this episode of Retro Reviews, and a formal welcome into 2025. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.